And welcome everyone to the IT channel episode 63. Today, what we have is a lineup of stories about tablets, phones, games, and technology updates happening on the internet as well as for some businesses. So just to introduce the IT channel podcast crew, we have, let's start with Sherwin.
Hello.
Sherwin, hi, how are you?
I'm very good today.
Okay. Sherwin's gonna talk a lot about the news that's happening today because he's not happy about some of them. So stay tuned for that. Sherwin, what do you do for a job?
I write for the newspaper here.
Uh-huh.
Here is in Singapore.
Here is in Singapore, but mainly I just play way too much video games.
Okay, so that's Sherwin, who's a reporter and a gamer for Digital Life. Next, we have Sheldon.
Hello.
Hey, Sheldon. So,
Hello.
Sheldon, would you like to introduce yourself?
I am Sheldon. I am on Twitter and I am on DeviantArt. And I will give you the URLs for that later in the show.
Definitely, and stay tuned to that for at the end of the show. Sheldon also basically likes to draw.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So how's it going along since the last week?
It's good. I'm stuck into the storyboarding gig, so that's like pages and pages and pages and pages of storyboards.
Okay. So is it coming out anytime soon?
The movie? Yeah, no. Well, principal photography starts in about 7 weeks, so I got to scramble on the storyboards.
Okay.
and then once I'm done with that, I'm done. Then I won't see the movie until it comes out.
Okay. All right. Andrew. We have Andrew Clark, who's a gamer and overall grumpy geek. Andrew, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I am Andrew. Sounds grumpy enough for you?
Anything interesting for this week for you?
Yeah, I'm still looking for a co-op partner in Portal 2. If anyone wants to play with me, please.
Sherwin.
Wanting to sound too needy and desperate?
Yeah, you can ask Sherwin since Sherwin likes the game as well.
PlayStation 3.
Did you buy it? Have you bought it for the PS3?
I have it. Yeah, I have it. It's still shrink wrapped though. I'm stuck in the middle of the Michael Jackson experience this week. So.
The what?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a new game where you can sing and dance like Michael Jackson. Don't worry. It doesn't come built with little children. It's just many songs.
Ouch.
Yeah.
You have to load up on medication and you get bonus points for how wasted you can be when you're done.
Oh, man.
All right, and that was Thomas. Since you spoke, so why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Thomas. I'm an IT person and I game also. Sounds like Alcoholics Anonymous, doesn't it?
So we've got a bunch of gamers on our panel here. That's good.
A couple of weeks ago, I mentioned about being a chicken whisperer. My mother-in-law came over and stayed last weekend. And she saw them and she said, "Oh, do you want me to kill them?" And I was like, "Yeah. Oh, nut patong."
Okay. All right. So we have To, who blogs on MyTech News Info. To, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm To.
Hey To,
I'm not a gamer. I'm too old to game. My reflexes aren't what they used to be.
Hello, but you got 2 consoles at home.
I have 3 or 4.
Yeah, more than me.
which are gathering dust.
So To, any new releases that you attended to this week? Press releases or gadgets?
No, nothing interesting actually. Everybody refrained from doing anything this week because everybody thought that the iPad 2 was going to be released based on
okay.
And whose fault was that?
We'll talk about that.
Whose fault, man?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a while. So next we have Mike.
Hey, hi.
Hey, Mike. So rumor has it, according to a certain person, Mike, that
this is Mike Phone Guy on Twitter.
this Mike Phone Guy. That's right. He mentioned something like rumors about the iPad 2 coming out this week. So any thoughts on that, Mike?
You see, this whole week there have been a lot of impersonations. There's this guy for Energizer. There's this guy who's on Twitter. And then there's this guy who talks about the iPad 2. I got no idea who's who now, you know?
I think you mean the Energizer Bunny, Mike.
No, the MD of Energizer.
Yeah,
Bunny?
actually,
Did someone mention Bunny?
I totally missed that story, actually.
Yep.
You look more like the bunny, though, Mike.
What?
Ah,
I don't know.
So the iPad 2 didn't come out after all. Who was actually waiting for it? I know that I was actually quite keen, not really keen to maybe get one, but keen to check it out in the stores.
I'm keen to buy it. The second it comes out, I will be there as long as I don't have to line up for it.
Farah is willing to line up for $900.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Good luck with that.
Well, this is working on the story that I believe it was Mashable who actually interviewed this girl who was queuing up for the iPad 2, and this was in New York, and she queued up for over 2 days, and she was offered $900 for her spot, which is first in the queue. Yeah, so working on that, maybe someone's willing to offer me that much to queue up, I wouldn't mind.
Right. So are you introducing yourself as a professional line queuer?
Is there such a profession? I wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Your tagline would be, I queue you.
Yeah, so the iPad 2 didn't come out after all. So Thomas, I guess you gotta wait a while.
Yes, I'm sure I won't get the first lot, because by the time I wander in there, they'll all be cleared out.
Yeah.
But I will get one as soon as I can.
Are you?
Anything else?
Okay.
Anyone else?
I'm gonna order one, but not from
You gonna order it over the internet, or are you just gonna queue up for it when it comes?
order. I don't like queues. I hate queues.
Okay.
Yeah.
I queue you.
You should only queue at a proper Apple store, not at a reseller.
Oh, God. Not again.
And you should only queue at the Covent Garden store.
And that's in KL, isn't it?
Yes. No.
That's a hell of a distance away. That's in London.
Covent Garden Clan. Yeah, that's the one.
That's right.
Okay.
So anyway, the rumors have already updated themselves to say that the iPad 2 will be out on the 29th now instead.
Yep.
And on the 29th, when they're not out, when it's not out, then the rumors will again update themselves.
On the 31st.
I'll blame this microphone guy.
But where did that Malaysia was going to be in sync with Singapore? When did that suddenly appear, that one?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was always Malaysia wasn't in the first round of releases.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was specifically mentioned that Malaysia wasn't in there.
No, they listed
Apple did mention in the in mid-March press release that it was definitely coming to Korea, Singapore, and Hong Kong, and a few other countries in April. But they did not exclude Malaysia. Or Malaysia, it wasn't mentioned, but neither did they say it wasn't coming to Malaysia.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, the rumors were all, I guess.
They didn't specifically exclude anybody, though, did they?
Yeah. So anyone could actually. They've named 3. Tim Cook a couple of days ago said, next week there's going to be 13 countries. So another 10 countries are going to get it. I suspect the majority of them are going to be the developed European economies. So that leaves a couple of other slots for some countries which they think may be worthy.
Well, I guess
underdeveloped countries.
I guess still on tablet news, the BlackBerry Playbook was actually released last week as well. That was in North America, and we're not too sure on the exact release date for Asia as well. But I guess people are speculating it's going to be somewhere in Q2, which is probably going to be in June. So yeah, a couple of tablets still slated to come out in the next few weeks or few months. Cool, but the Motorola Xoom is already out. Yeah, and that's already out there was 22nd, which was yesterday, 22nd of April. And so, would you like to talk about this?
It was out in Singapore.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's not out in Malaysia. Yeah, but anyway, it's supposed to be out tentatively in Malaysia in early May, I was told. But anyway, the Zoom. Apparently, a couple of readers were telling me they had difficulty locating a unit for sale in Singapore. And they could only find it in a place called Best Denki. They didn't do a tie-up with the Cellco, so you know, I don't know what's happening at Motorola basically. I'm not sure whether they actually do know how to run a tablet business or not. You know, it really perplexes me. I mean, it's a fairly good device, but it doesn't seem as if they're very serious in selling it.
And also the version of the tablet that's out, it's not the 3G version of it. It's the only Wi-Fi version, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it's only a Wi-Fi version. Again, I agree with Toh. It's quite funny how Motorola is doing this launch. I mean, previously when it was launching its milestone phones and all its other phones, it's sort of always tied up with Telcos left, right, and center. And for this time around, for some reason, it's one of the first, or if not the first, Android 3.0 tablets in the market in Singapore. And it just came in with a very, very slight whimper. Yeah, they didn't even have a press event. It was just, hey, we have this, it's available here. And I've got some friends who mentioned seeing it on display here and there, but I don't know of anyone who actually went out to buy it. But I do know that I think next week, Acer is launching theirs, the Iconia 500, if I'm not wrong. And then Asus has the Triple E pad. So I think, I don't know, for some reason, Motorola is just taking it very calmly this time around.
Yeah, I actually saw a few people do actually have bought the Zoom. I actually saw a few out in the wild as well. It was, but everyone is just flaunting their iPads on the train and stuff like that these days. And I saw quite a few blog posts going out in Singapore that people was hunting for it when the new press release came, and on April 22nd, where the supposedly to be the iPad launch, Zoom kind of launched at the same time. So and I saw quite a few people went to the Best Denki, and I think only Best Denki, and they actually reviewed the tablet there and then.
Challenger is also selling it apparently, but the Best Denki has the best price. Has best price so far. I think they're selling it at a $30 discount under the recommended retail price of 888 Singapore dollars, I think.
Does anybody know anyone who's picking up these other tablets like the Zoom or whatever because they can't be bothered waiting for an iPad 2, or they're like making it as an alternative choice?
I feel that people who want to go for the Zoom will actually be more of a non-iPad person anyway, so they would probably go for that. And I mean, Zoom has already been delayed. I mean, it's for Asia at least, and it's actually at this time. So
what's going on in the background there?
Yeah, someone's house been broken.
He wants to Zoom, I think.
Okay, so enough about tablets. We talked about the iPad 2 and the Motorola Zoom. I guess let's talk about phones now. And something which is close to a gamer's heart, which is the Sony Xperia Play, and that's actually out. So who's gonna buy that?
Hey, what's podcasting? Tolong dulu lah.
Mute.
The Xperia Play.
Xperia Play, anyone?
Okay, so I got around to playing with it, and guess what's the first thing I did? I loaded up a whole bunch of emulators, downloaded a whole bunch of ROMs, and they all worked.
Ooh.
Wow.
And I mean, right now, the PlayStation Suite, which is supposed to be selling the original PlayStation 1 games for the PlayStation 4, is not available yet. I think that's coming up year-end with the next generation PlayStation Portable, or whatever they're going to call it. So there are only a small handful of Android games that are being converted or adapted for a PlayStation phone, but there are already a bunch of emulators in the Android market, and you don't have to root your phone or hunt them down. If you actually download one of the emulators called Tiger SNES for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System or the Tiger Genesis, they actually have a link within that app where you can go to a download market and download whatever games that you want. So I was downloading all the original Final Fantasies, the old Double Dragon. I downloaded my Super Shinobi, some Mario games for the Game Boy, and all you have to do is map the game to the physical keyboard, and they all fire up right away.
Wow!
So there's an extensive game library available for the PlayStation phone right now.
So do you like it now? Do you feel that there's a phone that actually will bring in more of the gaming? I mean, of course, it's just emulators at this point. Is this official? Probably non-official emulators, right?
All these are. Well, things that they are official emulators for all these old devices, but the PlayStation phone itself is an emulator. Sony Ericsson has already admitted as much, right? So getting all these emulators to work with a physical keyboard is not a problem. I think what this will appeal to in the beginning, in the absence of actual PlayStation 1 games on the PlayStation Suite, is that a lot of people who are fans of all these older games, this is now a one-stop device that allows you to play every game that's available out there or that has already been ported over to an emulator. And the price is $888, and it's a Singtel exclusive until the end of May. So I think if you are a gamer and you just want a device to play all your old games, which I'm sure a lot of us are fans of, this phone is actually pretty good. You don't have to worry about tapping on the touchscreen just to play the old games where you don't need an accelerometer, a gyroscope, or whatever else there is. You just want physical keys to fire all the buttons, to punch, to kick things around, and it's actually pretty fun. So I spent a better half of the week revisiting all my old games, games that I was playing during my childhood. Is it going to keep me, entertained for the next 6 months? I don't know, but as an actual gaming device, it works, and I have no complaints.
Oh, do you get the games off the Android market, Sherwin?
Like I said, the emulators, there are several emulators on the Android market. Some are free, some are, I think they cost like a 99 cents or a plus, whatever. There are also apps that actually search the ROMs for you. Some of these are hit and miss. They go to external sites, so sometimes you don't exactly download the games that you want. But for all the ones that I've tried, there's this emulator series called Tiger. I've downloaded the Tiger emulator for the SNES and the old Sega Master System. And there's actually a link within the app that brings you to another window where you can actually download all these games. And all the games I've downloaded so far, they have worked for me. So, from what I understand, the emulators themselves have been approved for the Android marketplace. It's just that I think there's a little backdoor that allows you to download the games anyway.
Oh, but hang on. If these are emulators, right, they will also be able to work on other Android smartphones as well?
Yes, they do. It's just that you have to deal with a virtual keypad. So right now with the PlayStation 4, you get to enjoy the game with a physical keyboard.
What about those official Sony games? Those you need to buy it from Sony directly, or you also buy it from the Android market?
Those you buy from Sony directly under the PlayStation Suite, but that one is not available yet. The one supposedly it's coming by the end of the year, and I think the other that you should consider is that the PlayStation certification offered by Sony for the PlayStation phone is actually also going to be available for a lot more Android devices in the next few months.
Okay.
I think Sony wants to open up, its mobile gaming portfolio to a lot more vendors, but they're giving exclusivity right now to Sony Ericsson.
Okay. What about whatchamacallit? You were saying the retail price is now confirmed at 888 Singapore dollars contract free.
Singapore dollars contract free. But I think it's an exclusive for now. So Singtel may not want to sell you the phone without the contract. So I think they have the exclusive period until the 31st of May, and after that it's going to be available to the general market. So you might have to wait till the end of next month to pick it up for it at the full retail price.
Yeah. What's this escape service that the press release spoke about?
Okay. So the escape service is a new cloud-based game service that Singtel is running. They have actually tied up a vendor whose name escapes me right now. The bad pun there. But basically what happens is that you register, and whether you're on a computer or through Singtel's IPTV platform, you can actually download the game directly from the cloud and play it through your TV or your computer. And then when you save the game is saved on the cloud. So if you actually switch to another laptop, to another desktop, you can continue the game just by downloading the game from the server. So you don't actually need a game console. Right? All you need is an internet connection, and you don't really need a powerful desktop or laptop to play games. The games right now aren't like your high-end games like Crysis or Call of Duty, but they have some of the older games. They have Street Fighter 4, they have Frontline, they have Back to the Future, the game, and a few others. And apparently more games will be added as you go along. The subscription fee, I think it's... Okay, I really don't know the price right now. So you read the press release. But I think you pay for it on a monthly basis. Then you play as much as you want. And, if you get bored of the game, you stop subscribing. And if you decide, 2 months later that there are new games out there, then you resubscribe again. And then you continue playing whatever games they have offered.
It's $199 for 1 day pack and $9.99 for a month.
There you go. Okay.
Okay. So it's actually a Singtel service which they launch in conjunction with the Xperia Play.
It's actually Singtel's event to announce that they are actually going into gaming, but the Escape service and the Xperia Play run independently of each other. So you cannot play the Escape service through the Xperia Play phone. It's just that both options are for gaming. So Singtel decided to announce both at the same event.
Okay. Because I think I was reading the CNET Asia site, and I think they managed to access the Escape service using the Xperia Play.
Oh, okay. And how was
yeah, they said it was a bit laggy because basically, as you said, what happens is that all the processing takes place on the server in the cloud, and only the graphics or the video of it is actually streamed to your device, such as the smartphone. That's right?
Yeah, correct.
Cool. So do you see, just wondering for this Xperia Play, I mean, obviously on the game side, it's really quite good. How about in terms of the sort of the app side, the business side of it? Do you think it actually matches up with, it performs as well as other?
I think Sony Ericsson has spent the past 2 years trying very hard to regain its position in the hardware side of things with its Android phones, and it hasn't really succeeded because whereas when everybody was launching phones on Android 2.1, 2.2, they were still giving out 1.6. And people were laughing at them, and the hardware wasn't really that good. If you look at the phones that they released last year, the X10, the X8, and there, but I think they've really caught up this year. And if you want their high-end phone, right, you have the Xperia Arc, and that's actually a very decent phone. The Play, I think it's really centered towards gamers, and if you think about it, Sony Ericsson could have had this experience, out a long time ago. Since mobile phones have become so powerful, people were always wondering when will the so-called PlayStation phone be announced, but no one has actually bothered to come with it until Apple came out with all these games on the iPhone, and all of a sudden mobile gaming became this huge for everybody. So I think Sony is trying to catch up right now, and I think it's on the right path. The phone doesn't have the full spec most other phones have. It's still a single core 1 gigahertz processor, so you're not looking at like a high-end device. But if you are just looking to play games, you don't really need a dual-core processor, right? And I think it's a step in the right direction.
Cool. Okay, from I guess to wrap up from mobile gaming, let's talk about something else right now, which is mobile photography. And basically, on Flickr itself, the iPhone 4, the number of photos taken with the iPhone 4 has surprisingly exceeded the number of photos taken with a Nikon system.
Oh,
so yeah,
it's almost there. I think it's not.
It's almost there.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously, I mean, Mike, you have an iPhone 4.
Yeah.
And you are, I mean, quite an avid photographer.
Yeah, quite a few. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think?
I think it's actually an amazing thing that actually they in a couple of years ago actually they did announce that the iPhone actually surpassed most of the Canon. Initially, the Canon was actually the Rebel T1 was more. One of the cameras most used on Flickr, and they surpassed that 3 years ago. But that was because it actually lumped all the iPhones together from the first generation right up to the iPhone the 3GS. So yeah, but this time around, the iPhone 4, because of its better camera and better processing and stuff like that, actually surpassed all the Canon cameras, and is inching very closely to the Nikon D90.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and then of course, if you compare that with point and shoot cameras, which is on the way down, they far surpass those kind of numbers as well. So it looks like the best phones or best cameras to use are actually your mobile phone. And of course, last week we talked about Flip being one of the casualties of this.
Right.
I think this is one of the things that could actually be because what happened in the whole mobile phone market that actually creates better cameras and more mobility and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the iPhone 4 camera is actually 5 megapixels, right?
Yep.
I mean, comparatively to like DSLRs or point and shoot, I mean, it's definitely above 10.
Mm-hmm.
So, in terms of the quality, it doesn't match up. But I think it just shows that more and more people are taking photos casually because just simply because they're carrying a smartphone with a camera, and they can actually integrate all their photos online on Flickr very easily using the Flickr app for iPhone.
Yeah. I think it's because actually they do. I think people just whip out their iPhone very easily just to take pictures. I mean, I had an iPhone for a year and I got 1,623 pictures.
1,000, very cool. Okay, so I guess talking about iPhones and cameras, let's talk about another app which has come out to the iPhone itself. We're talking about Rockmelt, and Rockmelt was a web browser that tried to integrate social media into browsing the internet. And this was sometime back when they had the beta, and I think they went public with it, but not a lot of people caught on with Rockmelt. So do you think it will actually work for the iPhone? Anyone uses it?
Yeah, so I just downloaded it just a while back, just before this podcast, and hoping to actually, I think the first thing actually will make it on the iPhone platform is that if it actually plays Flash, but nope, it doesn't play Flash, so I just kind of abandoned it after right there. The integration with Facebook and the integration with Twitter is still there. It's quite it's what Rockmelt was initially designed for. You can browse the timeline pretty easily. You can respond to your Twitter requests and notifications and stuff like that. But really, if it's just another browser, I don't see any point in using that again. I mean, I only touch Rockmelt on the desktop for like a whole 20 minutes.
Okay. Well, we'll see how it goes because for the iPhone itself, the default browser is Safari, and Safari doesn't really allow you to share links that easily, especially for social media. So I guess those of you who are interested, to have a browser which can do both, possibly can, give Rockmelt a try. Yeah.
Right.
Any other thoughts about that? No one?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to big piece of news which came out and caused a lot of anger. And Sherwin, do you want to take this one?
Ooh, we are talking about this week's report that the iPhone is secretly tracking you, or has been secretly tracking you for the past year. So so in case anyone has missed out on this, several researchers went to dig into the iPhone, and they found out that there's actually a file in the iPhone that actually stores the locations that your phone has been to for the past year. And several folks have actually created software to interpret that file, and they actually map your location in the past year, onto a map. I don't know if it's a global map, but the ones that I've seen are all from Singapore. I do think that you can actually map it on a global scale, but the thing is that this file is not something that Apple has been very open about, or Apple actually tells you about, and there is no option to opt in or opt out. Your phone simply tracks the data. So people are asking, why is Apple doing this? Why have you been collecting all this data without a user's permission? And more importantly, what are you going to do with all this information?
Exactly.
Right? So I think even the US lawmakers have sent letters to Steve Jobs to ask for his explanation on this, and so far Apple has been pretty quiet. But I think a lot of folks around the world are actually quite angry. I mean, this is not a case of you subscribing to, let's say, Foursquare and then checking in and telling your followers where you've been. But it's just a very sneaky way of collecting information.
Okay, so my question for this is, does it require you to pass over your iPhone to get the file to track you, or can they actually track you based on wirelessly or the internet?
I think the information about where your phone has been is stored in a file in the phone.
In the phone.
And yeah, it's the phone. So actually, to be honest, as long as you secure your phone, it's the same with the way you keep your personal information, your contacts in your phone. If you don't lose the phone, you're not going to lose the information. But as long as somebody has your phone, they can search for that file, copy over that file and track where you have been. I mean, if you just think about it, there's not really a huge issue because, you're not going to lose your phone. But then it's the idea of, if Apple can do this behind your back, what else can it do, or what else has it been doing these past few years?
If you have a GPS, the GPS does exactly the same thing. Yeah, you take your Garmin GPS and you plug it into whatever that free program is, and it will tell you all the places you've been since you last reset it. So as the iPhone has a GPS chip in it, I would imagine it's doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah, but this is what they're doing in terms of putting a file on the phone and tracking the exact locations of where you have been. Sounds like it's I don't know, it's a app waiting to happen where spy on your spouse kind of thing, spy on your girlfriend. And
cool.
Or spy on your boyfriend.
Just suspicious of your girlfriend, Farah.
Ooh.
Oh, my girlfriend? Nah. So I think this is obviously there are a lot of privacy concerns when it comes to this. Currently, I'm reading this article. It says that there's just not much you can do about it. There's probably like Sherwin said, just make sure you keep your phone with you all the time. I guess who would actually want to, if somebody find your phone to actually track you down, right?
I think it's great for the whole Find My iPhone thing. I mean, I've lost an iPad before, and if that was a service that I've enabled earlier, I would be able to maybe track it, by this. I mean, I guess it would work the same way if any way that the iPad or the iPhone gets onto a wireless network, it can actually quickly look at the file and see where the iPad has been and ping you the last location that it's going to be.
Okay.
I would say this actually, I wouldn't sugarcoat it. It is pretty bad. It's a bad issue because number one, it's not opt-in. You do not opt yourself into this sort of tracking. But it's not really that bad because the file never really goes to Apple, and it just stays on your phone and it just stays in the backup that you do at the PC. So if you ever do, number one, lose that file, someone has access to your PC and they get their hands on the file, okay, you're pretty much screwed. But one way to alleviate that is to encrypt the backup that you do when you back it up in iTunes. There's an option in iTunes that lets you encrypt your backup file with password. And then number two, the second vector would be when you actually lose your phone. Now, if you lose your phone, you have, besides the location log, you have also a lot of other personal data there that you should pretty much be worried about, like past access to your email accounts and all that. So this location file thing is just another thing that you should worry about. But for that, I would tell all iPhone users, install the Find My iPhone app. Link it to your iPhone so that if your iPhone ever gets stolen and you realize that it's lost, you can straight away go and do a remote wipe on it, so you can wipe out all the data on the file. So I mean, it is an issue. It's bad. I mean, it shouldn't be tracking. This file shouldn't be tracking all your location ever since you've started using an iPhone, and it's been acknowledged, I think, by some of the Apple fans out there, like number one, John Gruber. He says it is a problem, and they claim it's a bug or a mistake. So hopefully they can fix it in the next iOS upgrade.
This one doesn't worry me so much. What really concerns me is that the iPhone 5 is going to be able to track where you're going for the next year. So
using Apple's built-in quantum
mechanics, exactly. That's going to be really dangerous because the people will be there waiting for you to get your iPhone.
Yeah, and you know, next week they all sit in a queue, all in one single line. All the iPhone owners.
Yeah, come on, say it with me. Say it with me.
I kill you.
I
kill you.
I would also like to point out that Android also has the same tracking file.
Oh, they do?
Just saying, yeah. But it's actually harder to find, and it doesn't store as much.
It'll be linked to the GPS software. All the GPSs have it, I'm sure.
Even cars have it now.
Okay, so I guess... Are you guys done?
Does not have that picture.
I think just to mention, I mean, there's a lot of shady business going around with Apple, obviously. And talking about shady business, Apple has decided to sue Samsung for basically copying what they say, is Apple's trademark look for the iPad and for the iPhone. And after a week of being sued by Apple, Samsung has actually decided to counter-sue Apple. So, Sherwin, you want to comment on this since you're so passionate about it?
Me? No. That's fine. Someone else.
No, I mean, if you look at the design for the iPhone and the Samsung Galaxy, they look very, very much similar, including the placement of the icons, including the one button thing they had. So yeah, it looks very much alike, but like a lot of the article is saying, and it's that it actually was one of Apple's way of leveraging in terms of the negotiation for their $5.3 billion order to Samsung's microelectronics as they order them. And looks like Samsung is also suing, just to show that, Apple's throwing their weight around, so Samsung is throwing their weight around as well. They say they infringed 10 patents from Samsung's, wireless technology, improvement of 3G quality, data quality, and stuff like that. The thing is, on the Apple side, when they show that that what are the patents they infringed, they list it down quite clearly. Whereas when we read the Samsung's argument on that, it says they have 10 patents which they violate, but no details of what the 10 are. You know.
So I don't know how this is going to come out.
It's a pissing contest at the moment, you know.
So, what do you guys think? I mean, you think Evil One's gonna win or give way, or I don't see the point of this really.
Well, if you want to really the most detailed analysis of this that I read it's from Nilay Patel, formerly of Engadget. You go to his news site at thisismynext.com. He basically has a complete, really long and detailed analysis of this lawsuit. And one part of the article, he basically lines up the icons from the iPhone and the Samsung phones next to each other, and yeah, you really do see the similarities. Now, sure, there are similarities, but is it enough to win for them to win for Apple to win a legal case against Samsung? Don't know. I'm not a lawyer, so you just see how this goes.
Okay. All right. Moving on from phone news, let's talk about games now. So something I think Sheldon would be really interested to talk about.
Andrew, you.
Both. Andrew, Sheldon, and Sherwin.
Good save.
No, Sheldon and Sherwin. So, Portal 2.
Yes.
Yeah, go, Drew.
Portal 2.
I'll jump in when I've got something to say.
I'll make room for you. So Portal 2, the long-awaited sequel to Portal, was just released on Tuesday. Portal, if you guys are not aware, it's a game. It's a first-person shooter where you don't really shoot anything. You are basically someone armed. You are armed with this gun that can create portals that you can move in and out. So you shoot a portal on the wall, and then you shoot a second one on another part of the wall. You can walk through. Basically, creates a portal where you can walk through these portals. So Portal 2 is basically, the plot takes place several hundred years after the end of the first one, and I'm gonna say right now, best game of 2011 so far. It's great writing. It's a lot of intentionally funny parts as well as unintentional. And also, I think they've expanded a lot on the original background of Portal 1. They have this, because what happens in Portal 1, you find yourself waking up in this test chamber owned by a company called Aperture Science, and in Portal 2 it expands a lot into the background and history of Aperture Science. And then, of course, the evil AI computer GLaDOS. This is not going to be a spoiler. You've probably seen it in all the trailers already. GLaDOS makes a comeback, and it's really good. There's new characters in it as well. So everyone should just get it, even if you don't own a computer to play it on. Just get it.
Really?
And
best game of the year, Andrew. Okay,
I think
you know what?
so.
I will retire my copy of Michael Jackson The Experience, which I'm currently playing now, to put in Portal 2.
I will say definitively that Portal 2 is going to be better than the Michael Jackson Experience. Yeah.
Why? Does Portal 2 let you chase after kids and hunt them down?
Oh. Had to go there.
That was never proven, by the way.
Okay.
And by the way, if you are gonna buy a copy, if you have a PS3, you should buy the PS3 version of Portal 2 because it comes with the PC version as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I still haven't finished Portal 1.
And you should.
Yes.
Does it support the PS Move?
No, it doesn't.
Oh,
So it's purely controller only. Yeah.
Yeah, what he said.
On that?
Yeah, what he said. All that stuff.
Woo! Go get it.
Cool. All right. Let's talk about tech news now. If you guys are okay with that. Well, briefly, Google Video is going to shut down. As you know, Google bought over YouTube. So I guess with Move, trying to consolidate both Google Video and YouTube. So one has to give way. So Google Video is going to be shut down, and they are actually getting a lot of people to download or save their favorite movies from Google Video into the desktop before it's shut down.
Yeah, so go back up all your videos that you have sent to Google Video if you ever had one.
Do you guys actually watch movies and videos on Google Video?
No, I cannot honestly say that to Google Video ever. No, maybe I've gone once or twice, but that was it.
My kids went to it a few times, and then once I showed them YouTube, they never went back.
Which is why I'm shutting down, precisely because of that. But for myself, I guess Google Video has been pretty good because they stream. You can actually upload longer videos on Google Video. I mean, some of the videos there are over 1 hour long. And it's really good to have, for example, documentaries be hosted on Google Video instead of on YouTube. Yeah, so that's that.
YouTube actually allows certain broadcasters to have longer videos as well.
Mm-hmm. Like the average user. Do you have access to that?
So like this podcast is an hour long, and we actually upload the entire show on YouTube for a whole hour.
What's going up on YouTube?
The video that you see on Justin TV.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Shuan, what's the longest video you've got up on Tube 8?
Then you let to know.
Links, please. Links.
I guess just listening in, I guess, just probably Google Tube 8 and you'll understand what the joke is about.
NSFW. NSF.
Yes.
Yeah. What's the maximum limit of video uploads on YouTube again? 15 minutes, right?
No, for normal users, about 15 minutes. For certain broadcasters, after a certain amount of views that you get upgraded to a broadcaster status. And you get an hour. Actually, you get unlimited. But you get
direct.
I have that.
Yeah, that right?
Sorry?
I have that. Somehow they enable that for my account.
So, So more and more people are getting into the broadcaster thing as well. So you get about you only get a maximum of 2 gigs, but if you 2 gig at 320 by 240, you probably have 10 hours of video on it if you want.
Yeah, but 2 gigs trying to upload 2 gigs on a Malaysian broadband is like castrating yourself without anesthetics.
I can't really relate.
All right, let's move on to the other news. Because we have just a bit more time to go. Pan Olsen, which is the Asian technology blog, it's on panolsen.com. It's been around for about 2 years, and recently there has been talk that Pan Olsen is actually having an investment from East Ventures. So is that confirmed, Mike?
Yes, it is confirmed. I've got actually I know Willis quite well. So Willis sent me an email and says that they actually got investment from East Ventures for their blog, and their blog actually gets about 600,000 views a month.
Yeah, wow. What did they blog about?
Basically entrepreneur stuff, and then breaking news of tech and startups and the funding, mainly on who's getting funding and stuff like that.
And I guess
so. Hang on. So it's a blog about startups getting funding.
Well, not just startups getting funding, but they're curating entrepreneurs' information, and they're like a TechCrunch of Asia.
Oh, okay. So it's specifically about tech.
Well, not just tech, but they do focus mainly on the web stuff. I mean, the bulk of it is tech and web, but they do have other news items on that as well.
Yeah, it's basically about tech, business, web, social media as well. And I guess the good thing about Pan Olsen is that it fills in the gap that most of the information centers around Asia itself. So you have a lot of news about China, Indonesia, India, Japan, Singapore. So it's very Asian-centric in that sense. And there's not many other blogs out there cover that, except for maybe Toast, My Tech News Info. And that's mostly for gadgets and in Malaysia. So pretty interesting. I would like to see how this investment can actually make them grow, because from what I understand, most of the writers, they write out of passion, and they contribute. They contribute basically out of passion instead of being paid or being regular writers. So with this investment, I think it's going to be quite interesting in how they actually structure the blog itself. It's not going to be something which is just individually run or by a few people. Maybe it could even become like a publishing house or business.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting move for them. I think they definitely can grow in terms of the number of writers they have right now. They do have a lot of writers, and it spans about 5 different countries at this point in time. And they have the news items actually come out quite quickly, and they do have quite a few breaking news as well for Asia side.
Cool. And from Asia, I guess let's move into Malaysia. And we're going to talk about the Astro IPTV package. So Astro, in partnership with Time Broadband, has actually launched an IPTV package. So Toh, you want to talk more about that? We'll let the Malaysians talk about it.
Yes. Only if you are rich, you can subscribe to this. That's all.
What kind of channels does it have?
No lah, it's got, okay, basically, I mean, IPTV, for people who are not aware, is basically a TV service delivered over a broadband network, which you guys in Singapore have had, since time started, basically, and, Malaysia is just getting into the game, right? But here, Astro, the satellite the satellite broadcasting monopoly in Malaysia, is now able to broadcast all their channels, including some of their high-definition channels, into the comfort of your home using a broadband connection rather than using a satellite dish. So they've teamed up with this company called Time, which has wired up a couple of condominiums in the higher net worth areas of KL. And what Time is going to do is they're going to sell you the broadband package and as well as this satellite TV package. Both are going to run on separate channels. So even when you're downloading the highly educational stuff on your broadband connection, it will not affect the quality of your TV reception. So as far as I understand, everything that you get on Astro that you get through your satellite dish right now is now accessible through IPTV.
But hold on, at the moment. I'm thinking of the Telecom Malaysia service. So they're competing with that to have it across the fibre as opposed to through the.
Correct. Yes. The Time service is basically like Telecom Malaysia's Unify service. So everyone seems to be getting into this triple gangbang, a triple play game, where they've got broadband, TV, and all the other stuff all within, a single service, a single broadband service, sort of.
Yeah, but it's very limited to who can get it at the moment. It's only Mont Kiara and somewhere else.
Yeah, like I said, the higher net worth areas of KL. So Time is getting into the game. Unify, started, the whole thing. Maxis recently launched their home broadband service as well. They're actually using Unify's infrastructure to sell their service. They are also, I think, probably going to partner with their sister company Astro sometime soon. Although I'm not sure what the time frame is going to be.
So is it worth getting?
Assuming it starts to rain a lot and you stop receiving your broadcast through satellite, then I guess it is worth getting lah. Otherwise, I'm not too sure.
No, so you don't.
Unify has been a roaring success because you actually get decent speeds. I mean, obviously not the speeds they promise, but you actually do get much more usable speeds than if you're on even the top level of streamings. And if you're more interested in the Astro service, like we have Unify and Astro, and it's a bit of a pain because we don't bother hooking up the Unify TV just because, we don't want an extra chunk of channels and, and all extra pain of hooking that up. So I can see that the Astro one, getting everything in one, through one connection, would be very attractive if, you're at that price point that suited you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's anything stopping Telekom Malaysia through their Unify service to have a similar agreement with Astro in the future, where they can actually stream, Astro through this IPTV technology, lah. But right now they have got a couple of miserable channels which you need to pay for. But the mode of operation is almost identical, because Unify also has a dedicated channel for this particular IPTV service.
Okay. So anyone want to talk about One Malaysia email? Since we're on the topic of Malaysia.
There we go. There we are.
There's been a huge hoo-ha about it here. I started following it on Facebook just to see, just to see what sort of numbers we're after. Basically, if anyone doesn't know the background, Najib announced this One Malaysia email service as a way of communicating with government. But it's a very confused message, because they talk about it as if it was a payment portal, which would actually be something quite useful. But it's done over a secure email, and the idea is that everyone in Malaysia gets a secure email. Now, people are up in arms because anyone who's into technology and tech savvy already obviously has an email address, and the people who live in trees in the jungle don't really want one. So what it's trying to achieve is all a bit lost on people, and from the chats, whenever something comes out about it, it always seems to be going on about the cost. Who's going to pay for it? Where's the funding going to come from? But a lot of the people who post on that don't have a clue what they're talking about, because they're trying to estimate costs of storage based on how much a disk costs at Low Yat and how much a laptop for. They don't understand industrial strength hardware and of storing all that sort of thing. So there's a great deal of confusion, and then of course the government's just putting out smoke screens. It's not really clarifying what it's going to be and who it's going to help.
What's your take on this privately funded investment? PFI, as they put it.
I don't
POS, I know. PFI, I'm not too familiar about.
They're talking about making money from the transactions. Yep. From the payments side of things. There's also been a lot of who's the supplier of it? The company that's building the thing.
TriCubes.
There's been a lot of questions raised over their credibility.
Right.
And a guy on BFM said, they put check scanners in branches, so obviously they're a serious company.
Right.
Like Maybank.
Right.
Whereas anyone who knows anything knows there's a big difference between dropping devices on desks and doing some sort of centralized control system like that.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing, right? I mean, they announced that their KPIs is 100% by 2015, and all right, 2015, 100% of Malaysians aged 18 and above to subscribe to email. And by 2020, 50% of these subscribers, that means half the adult working nation, which is 10 million of between 5 to 10 million, will be using the value-added services to promote gross national income. So basically, they're getting income, or rather, they're getting transactions from this 50% of the people to actually gain back their investments in the whole thing. 2020 is 9 years from now. And they said they're going to spend $5.3 million a year to get this thing up. 5.3, I mean, I don't know, you and I know that 5.3 to run something like that for the whole nation is not going to be enough a year.
No, it's nothing. It's nothing.
Exactly.
It's not going to buy your disc.
That's true.
Not if you come to me, anyway.
All right. Any final thoughts on this then? Before we wrap up the show?
Gee, you really keep things moving, don't you, Farah?
Yeah, I mean, so it's been an hour already. So I mean, keen to wrap up the show. If you guys, I mean,
she has a life to get back to, you know.
We could definitely go on and on and on about this. I know with people like Toe and Thomas around, like all night.
Ooh, okay.
So, any last words on this?
I want to keep talking until Mike can no longer upload the video to YouTube.
I just have to lower the quality, that's all.
Okay. Thomas, any last words on this?
I'd just like to wish any heathens out there happy Easter.
Thanks.
Yes. So does Malaysia celebrate the Good Friday weekend as well? Good Friday? Do you guys get a public holiday?
We still have to work on Friday.
Oh, it's tough. Okay, so I guess let's wrap up the show. Today we talked about a few stories related to tablets. I guess the iPad 2 and how it's not coming out on 22nd April as originally, taught certain sources, aka Mike Fung.
Hey.
On Twitter.
I'm naming and shaming now.
I wonder who that is,
Yeah, I do. We all do. Perhaps the producer of the show.
Yeah, maybe.
We will hunt him down.
This Mike Fung character, right, has been making all the wrong moves the whole week,
No. Actually, in his defense, he actually was correct. But you see, Apple doesn't like to be upstaged like that, you see. So that's why they actually postponed the launch.
That's right. It was all because of me.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, he just gave it away. Who it is? Okay, so I guess since it's not released this week, there is a lot of rumors going around that it might be released next week instead. So everyone's quite looking forward to that. And if anyone wants to pay me good money, I will gladly kill you. I will kill you. I will kill you. So we also talked about the Motorola Xoom and how it came out in Singapore. But it's currently retailing only at Best Denki, and only the Wi-Fi version is available, not Wi-Fi plus 3G. Also, in terms of phones, the Sony Xperia Play, which came out, Sherwin really liked it. Sherwin likes playing all his games on it, right, Sherwin?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and you recommend it to others?
If you know how to download all the free games that are available, sure, why not?
Yeah. Do you think people should actually wait for it, or maybe just buy it now?
I think there's always no harm waiting, right? Like I said, the whole PlayStation certification option is going to be made available to a lot more devices.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no harm in waiting, I guess, if you can afford it, to see what the other vendors are going to come up with.
Definitely. And we didn't talk about iPhone 5 rumors, but maybe we'll talk about it in future weeks, and a lot of people are actually looking forward to that coming out as well. But speaking about the iPhone, we talked about how the number of photos taken with the iPhone 4 has actually managed to be almost on par with the number of photos taken with Nikon that's on Flickr itself. So in terms of photography, mobile photography is really taking off quite a lot. We also talked about how the iPhone can record your location. A lot of buzz about that, and I guess Sherwin said, you don't really like it. Sheldon, what do you think? Sheldon?
Sorry, I had to say myself.
You didn't talk about it.
I was muted there, sorry.
No worries. You did talk about it just now, right?
What's that? The
iPhone 4 and how it records location?
No, I have no opinion on that. I mean, like I said, the only thing is, it's only going to be a problem if you lose your phone, I guess, because the file only gets synced to your PC, and there's ways around it. And I've already turned on the Find My iPhone thing, so I don't really give a crap anyway.
Cool. And for those of you who want to try new apps, I guess iPhone Block Mail is something worth trying and seeing whether it works. Also on iPhone news, Apple news, in fact, Apple decided to sue Samsung, who decided to sue Apple back. So keep posted for that. Don't know how it's going to turn out yet. Also talked about games, and Andrew, you recommended which game?
Portal 2.
Portal 2.
Yeah, worth buying?
Sorry?
Is it worth buying?
Yeah, I just go buy it. For size.
Okay. How much do you think it's currently retailing at?
I don't know about it in Singapore, but in the Steam online store, you can get it for $50.
Okay. Okay.
As I said, if you have a PS3, go buy that version since you get the PS3 and PC version together.
Cool. And we talked how Google Video is shutting down, how Penn Olsen is currently getting investment from East Ventures, which is going to be really interesting to see how it's going to grow from there. And from the Malaysian side of things, Astro IPTV and how it's too expensive, according to Toe and Thomas, and One Malaysia email. Yep, and that basically wraps up the IT channel episode 63 and what we talked about for this episode. So let me just run up with the panel of podcasters again. Let's start with Sheldon.
Yes, hello, goodbye. Oh yeah, the URLs I promised you. I am on twitter.com/SheldonGo and sheldongo.deviantart.com. So thank you for staying with us, and those are my URLs.
All right, how are you, Sherwin?
Hello, you can find me on Twitter /AngelSherwin. And I will see you guys next week.
Cool. Andrew?
I'm at Andrew KJS, and also shout out to @WordsManifest out there. Go follow him as well.
Cool. Andrew, will you be playing your games this weekend or this week, Portal 2?
Well, if I ever get that co-op partner, yeah, I'll probably play Portal 2.
Okay, Toe.
Yes, this is Dr. Love signing off. Oh, oops, wrong podcast. You can find me at mytechnews.info or twitter.com/mytechnewsinfo.
I'm pretty sure you rehearsed that, right, Dr. Love?
No. Might not be that.
Thomas? Is it Thomas? Sorry?
Yes, you can follow me on SGMW on Twitter, or see my guitar page on www.sgmw.co.nz. And I'd just like to say, Paradise are the crappiest hosters in the world. Don't ever use them.
Okay, you can cross that sponsor off your list, Mike.
Oh yeah, now I can't go to New Zealand at all right now.
Okay, Mike, would you like to sign off as well?
Yeah, you can find me anywhere at Mike Fong or MikeFong.com.
You can find me anywhere at Mike Fong. And it's so true. It's so true.
What? Energizer, Accenture.
Mike's quite famous on the internet, right, Mike?
Yeah, I'm so famous that I don't know. Nobody knows me.
All right, and signing off, myself, Farah, and my blog on www.farahcity.com. And this has been IT Channel Podcast, episode 63. We hope you enjoyed it and hope you're enjoying your long weekend.
Yep.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Awesome.
Sweet dreams. Good night, John Boy.
John Boy, who's that?
Yeah, good night, Ma. Good night, Pa. What do you mean, who's John? You people don't watch the Waltons?
Good night, Mary Ellen.